Are certain family dynamics draining your energy in your golden years? As we age, our time and energy become more precious, and while family is often a source of love and support, not all relationships are equally beneficial. Sometimes, certain family members can unknowingly or even intentionally create stress, emotional pain, or unnecessary burdens. In old age, your peace and happiness should be a priority. This is a time to focus on self-care and cherish the positive relationships in your life. However, some connections might pull you away from that serenity. Today, we're diving into the 5 types of family members you should avoid to ensure a peaceful, fulfilling, and harmonious later life. Let's explore how setting boundaries with the right people can make all the difference. Type 1. The overly dependent family member. Meet Mr. David, a 70-year-old retiree who worked tirelessly his entire life to save for his golden years. However, his plans for a peaceful retirement took an unexpected turn when his adult son, Mark, lost his job. Initially, David was more than happy to help, providing financial support to cover Mark's bills and emotional support to keep his spirits up. Weeks turned into months and months into years. Mark grew increasingly reliant on David, not only financially, but also for solving every problem in his life. The weight of supporting Mark began to take a toll on David's health and savings, leaving him feeling drained and unfulfilled. This story is all too common. Type 1. Reliance. The overly dependent family member may not have malicious intentions, but their reliance can lead to significant consequences for elderly individuals. Enabling such dependency can cause financial strain, depleting savings that were meant for medical care, travel, or simply enjoying retirement. The emotional toll can also be immense, with constant demands for attention, advice, or reassurance leading to stress and even resentment. To avoid falling into this trap, it's essential to set clear boundaries. Start by having an honest conversation with the dependent family member about their situation and your limitations. Encourage them to take steps toward independence, whether it's finding a new job, managing their own finances, or seeking outside support. It's okay to help, but make sure your assistance is temporary and encourages growth rather than reliance. Remember, your retirement is a time for you to prioritize your own well-being. Helping a loved one is noble, but not at the expense of your health or happiness. Setting boundaries isn't about being selfish. It's about ensuring that both you and your family members can thrive in the long run. Type 2. The chronic critic. Imagine Mrs. Evelyn, a retired teacher in her late 70s. She loved spending time with her granddaughter Lily, who often visited her. However, Evelyn soon realized that every visit left her feeling drained rather than joyful. Lily had a habit of criticizing everything: Evelyn's cooking, the way she kept her house, even her choice of hobbies. What started as seemingly harmless remarks gradually chipped away at Evelyn's confidence. She began doubting herself, questioning whether she was truly capable of enjoying her retirement as she once imagined. The impact of constant criticism goes beyond hurt feelings. For older adults, it can erode self-esteem and create feelings of inadequacy or sadness. Negative remarks, especially from family members, can make you feel undervalued, which is particularly damaging when you've worked hard to find peace and fulfillment in your golden years. In this stage of life, where self-respect and emotional stability are paramount, dealing with a chronic critic can disrupt your sense of contentment. If you find yourself in a similar situation, it's essential to take action. First, recognize that the problem lies with the critic, not with you. Limit your interactions with them if possible, or redirect conversations when negativity arises. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, whether they're family members, friends, or members of your community. Focus on maintaining relationships that bring positivity into your life rather than drain your emotional energy. Remember, your peace and happiness are non-negotiable. You've earned the right to enjoy this chapter of life without constant negativity. By choosing to prioritize uplifting connections, you'll safeguard your well-being and create space for joy and fulfillment. Type 3. The Manipulator. Consider the story of Mr. Samuel, an 82-year-old widower with a modest pension and a lifetime of savings. His niece, Clara, started visiting him more often after hearing about his financial stability. At first, Samuel appreciated her company, but over time her visits became less about connection and more about favors. Clara would often say things like, "If only I had a little help with my rent, I wouldn't have to worry so much." Or, "You're so lucky to have savings, I wish someone cared for me like that." Samuel began feeling obligated to lend her money, even when it started impacting his own budget. The guilt Clara imposed made it hard for him to say no, and her emotional manipulation drained him, both emotionally and financially. Manipulators often use guilt, flattery, or emotional appeals to achieve their goals, leaving their targets feeling used and helpless. For elderly individuals, this can result in anxiety, resentment, and a loss of trust in others. Recognizing manipulation is crucial because it allows you to protect your resources, well-being, and peace of mind. Manipulators thrive on your emotional vulnerabilities, making it essential to spot their tactics early and take a stand. To handle manipulators, stay firm in your decisions. Politely but assertively decline unreasonable requests and avoid justifying your choices excessively. Seek advice from trusted friends, family members, or professionals if you're unsure how to navigate the situation. Having an external perspective can help you see through manipulation and make informed decisions. Remember, helping someone should come from a place of generosity, not coercion. By standing your ground and valuing your well-being, you'll prevent manipulators from taking advantage and ensure your golden years remain peaceful and fulfilling. Type 4. The Passive Aggressor. Meet Mrs. Helen, a 75-year-old widow who loved hosting family dinners. Her daughter-in-law, Julia, often attended these gatherings, but would make subtle, hurtful comments. "Oh, I see you're still using those old recipes," Julia would say with a forced smile. Or she'd remark, "Your house is so quaint. It must have been lovely in its prime." Though Julia's words seemed polite on the surface, they carried an undertone of criticism that left Helen feeling uneasy and unappreciated. Over time, these subtle jabs started to chip away at Helen's confidence and made her dread family events. Passive aggression can be particularly damaging in close relationships. Unlike outright hostility, it operates under the surface, making it harder to confront directly. Over time, these subtle actions and comments erode trust and create emotional distance. For older adults, this can lead to feelings of loneliness, frustration, and even self-doubt, as they may question whether they are being too sensitive or misinterpreting the behavior. To deal with passive aggression, it's important to address the issue directly but calmly. If possible, have an open conversation with the person involved. For instance, you might say, "I noticed your comment about my cooking and it made me feel a bit undervalued. Is there something you'd like to discuss?" This approach can disarm passive aggression and encourage a more honest dialogue. If the behavior persists, consider creating emotional distance to protect your peace. Focus on relationships that uplift you and bring joy to your life. Surround yourself with people who value and respect you, as this will help maintain your emotional well-being. In the end, your time and energy are too precious to be spent navigating unnecessary negativity. Type 5. The Unreliable Caregiver. Imagine Mr. Arthur, an 80-year-old retiree living alone. When his health began to decline, his niece Susan offered to help with his daily needs. At first, Susan seemed dependable, promising to take him to doctor appointments and assist with grocery shopping. However, as time passed, her reliability faded. She often cancelled plans at the last minute or forgot essential tasks, leaving Arthur stranded without his medications or food. Each missed commitment made Arthur feel more vulnerable and anxious, eroding the trust he had placed in her. Depending on an unreliable caregiver can have serious consequences for both physical and mental health. Missed medical appointments, forgotten prescriptions, or inadequate nutrition can quickly lead to health complications. On an emotional level, being let down repeatedly can cause feelings of abandonment, stress, and even depression. For older adults, the lack of reliable support can make them feel isolated and powerless, undermining their sense of security. To avoid such situations, it's crucial to plan for professional or alternative care if necessary. Hiring a professional caregiver or seeking community resources can ensure consistent and dependable support. If relying on a family member, have a clear agreement about expectations and responsibilities. Additionally, strive to maintain some level of self-sufficiency, whether it's through technology like automated reminders or home modifications that promote independence. Remember, your well-being should never be left to chance. By taking proactive steps and prioritizing reliable care, you can safeguard your health and enjoy peace of mind in your golden years. Conclusion. As we navigate our golden years, protecting our peace and well-being becomes more important than ever. By recognizing these 5 types of family members, the overly dependent, the chronic critic, the manipulator, the passive aggressor, and the unreliable caregiver, you can create healthier boundaries and focus on the relationships that truly enrich your life. Remember, your happiness and serenity should always be a priority. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful or relatable, let us know in the comments by typing 9 if this video resonated with you, or 0 if you'd like to see more content like this. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, prioritize your peace and live your best life.